Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Go So Beautiful. My name's Becky and I'm finally back to share a little bit about what's been going on in my sewing room. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by and checking this out. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my videos. I do like sharing what I'm sewing and my experiences. If you're returning, I really appreciate you coming back. It's been a couple of months, probably about 10 weeks. I don't know. It was in July when I last recorded a video, and that's just because things in my family's life have um, kind of made it difficult to record a video. But I've still been sewing, and I want to share with you some of the things I made. So, first thing that I made since my last video was a baby quilt for my nephew and his wife who just had a baby in June. I had a stack of fat quarters that were already coordinated, and I bought them at Hobby Lobby. And I used a quilt pattern that was from the website that was on the tag of the fat quarters. So here's what the quilt looks like. And I used flannel for the back just to make it a little more snuggly. So that was a fun project. And I hope that my nephew's baby will keep it until he goes off to college and takes it with him there. The next thing I made was a couple of t-shirts because I just felt like I didn't have enough new shirts in my wardrobe. And I used the Keep It Simple Babe tee from Pattern Emporium. And this is definitely become a TNT for me because it fits me so well. It's got multiple variations for the neckline, the sleeves. I mean, it's definitely, you get your money's worth out of this pattern. You can make a scoop neckline, a V neckline, a square neckline, or you can make a turtleneck. And then, of course, you have short sleeves, long sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves. So this is a great pattern, and I was able to make these little shirts up in no time. So the first one I made is in this double brushed poly. And I bought this a while ago from Joann. It was the end of the bolt. And for some reason, I thought I wouldn't have enough to make a shirt, but I just got it out and I folded it a little bit differently and was able to put the border on at the bottom, on the front and the back, and I had enough for the sleeves. So I'll put a picture of me wearing it so you can see how it looks. But I just love the colors in this. I think I made it right around Labor Day, so the red, white, and blue was very appropriate for that. The next shirt I made, I felt like I didn't have enough shirts that had blue in them. So that one was red, but it does have blue in it. And then this is a rib knit that I got from StyleMaker Fabrics. I think I got it last year. And I used the Keep It Simple Babe tee again. And I was pretty pleased with the stripe matching on the side, but these stripes are very, very pretty skinny. So even though I pinned very carefully, you can see that it got a little bit off. The other side's a little bit better. But I was pretty, I like wearing this shirt. It's very lightweight rib knit, so it's a nice shirt for summer. and I'll show you a picture of me wearing that also. So those were really the only garments I made. I think I mentioned in my last video, which was in July, that I was trying to make a pair of shorts using the Largo Cargo pattern from Love Notions. And that I tried really hard to make these shorts fit, and I did get a pair of shorts that fit in the end. But when I looked at the back, I had these drag lines under my bottom, and I watched several videos about how to eliminate those, and I think part of what I needed to do was scoop out the back crotch a little bit, but then I also needed to add whatever I scooped out to the side seams. I watched Jay Stern's designs videos on how to scoop the crotch out, etc. And it just, I don't know what I did wrong, but I still have the smile lines, is what I call them. Let me get the pattern to show you what the Largo Cargos are like. So here is the pattern. And as you can see, these are pants, but I wanted to make shorts. So I think I used another pattern or maybe another pair of shorts and cut them off where I felt like I was comfortable. I did make them up completely. Well, before I put the waistband on, I tried them on. It's got a zip fly, and I did not put this little loop on the back. I had originally tried that, and it didn't look right, so I just left it off. But when I tried them on the first time, the waist was huge, and it came up like to here. So I realized that I needed to shorten the crotch length and take it in somehow, at least in the waist. So I put darts in the back, which I've taken one of the pockets off, but I did put these darts in the back. I took up the center back seam, and I looked at the difference. I think I had cut a size 18 or 20 for the hips, but my waist was more like an 18. Yeah, I cut a 20 for the hips, and I cut an 18 for the waist and graded out to a 20 in the hips. Well, when I looked at the pattern piece, there's about a 2-inch difference in the 18 and the 20 at the length of the waist. Hang on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is the top of the waist for the size 18, and this is the top of the waist for the size 20. And that's a good 2-inch difference. And I didn't think there should be that great of a difference between the 18 and the 20, but there is. So what I ended up doing was I think I tried to figure out whether this 18, the line for the 18 at the waist, would not be too long. And then since I needed a little bit more on the sides, I graded out to the 20 on the sides, but they still don't fit quite right. And so I had taken them apart at least twice, and I finally kind of gave up on them because I put holes in them. When I was seam ripping, I made a couple of holes, and I really like this fabric, and I don't know where I got it, so I'm just going to go back to the drawing board. And now I'm losing weight too, so the fit is even weirder. Anyway, a learning experience. I'm still working on how to make pants that fit right. After making the quilt for my cousin's baby, I decided I wanted to make another quilt for my granddaughter. And she likes Winnie the Pooh. So I picked out some fabrics. I had some fabrics from Winnie the Pooh. I wanted to get some more to go along with it. And this is just a patchwork quilt with, I think these are called rail fences or something. Anyway, I'll put a big picture in of the quilt, but I thought it came out really pretty. And I used this blue Kona fabric for the backing. And don't look at my quilting too carefully. I just stitched in the ditch around the squares, and of course I didn't get it perfect, but I don't think my granddaughter's going to mind that the lines aren't exactly in the ditch. But it was a quick way to quilt. I wanted to try and do Freemason quilting on the edge, and I did not have much luck with the quilting foot that goes with my machine. So I just stitched a line down the center of the border. I also purchased some quilting templates from Amazon, and they had several different choices, and I chose one that I thought was a reasonable price. It came with like 14 different designs, and unfortunately it was made in China and there were no instructions. So I watched some videos about how to use these templates, and it seemed pretty straightforward, but for some reason, well, again, the free motion quilting foot that I have for my sewing machine did not fit in the template. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. So the last thing that I worked on for myself is an apron. And I made this out of an old tablecloth that I had gotten from Williams-Sonoma. And it was a really pretty tablecloth, but it got stained. And so I took it apart, and I was going to try and make it bigger, but never got around to it. So I had a friend who had asked me to make an apron, and she wanted an apron that had multiple pockets on it and things where she could hang teething rings and pacifiers and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I'll make one for you. And I showed her this pattern, and she thought it was really cute, but I wanted to make it up first just to see what it was like. So this is Simplicity 8816, and I made this view, which here's a line drawings. It has, there you go. It crosses in the back, and really you're supposed to just slip it over your head. But I don't know if it's the fabric. This is kind of like a linen. It does not slip over your head that easy. And I was thinking, they have you stitch the straps on both here at the little bib and then also in the back. And I haven't stitched them on yet, but I was thinking it'd be easier if you could just button them. I don't know. I mean, in the picture, it looks like it goes around pretty far, and same in the line drawings. It kind of reaches the back, but mine don't go that far. So, I don't know if you can, there's the pockets, and there's the back. So you can see it doesn't cover that much of my backside. So maybe I'll extend that back portion, but I think it'll work fine for a nanny apron. And I needed a new apron because mine were all, I don't know what happened to mine. Anyway, this is the crossback apron from Simplicity 8816. Okay, so other things I was sewing, I also made a door curtain for a school teacher friend of mine that has pockets on it, and I'll show you a picture of that. She just needed something to cover the skinny window in her room and asked me if I would make one. And she wanted it to have pockets to hold the folders with the information about what to do in case of, and I don't know, it needed to have pockets to hold folders for safety reasons. So that was another thing that I worked on. And then I've also been trying to reorganize my sewing room. It's a mess right now, and it's been a mess, but I'm slowly working on it and have plans to show you a video of my new and improved sewing room. I was inspired by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room because she recently reorganized her sewing room and it looks very, very nice. So other than that, not much else going on. I'm going to be taking a trip in October. My husband and I are driving up to Vermont, and we're going to take a slow drive and stop along the way. And then we'll spend a week in Vermont, and then we're also going to drive home and stop on the way home, I think. Now, Vermont is pretty far north, and I've checked the temperatures around this time of the year, and it gets down pretty cold in the evening, in the night, and it didn't get much above 70 during the day at this time of the year. So I'm expecting some really cool temperatures next month, and I was trying to decide, should I try to make some warm pants like corduroy or something like that. I'm really, given my experience recently with trying to make everything fit in the hips and on the bottom, I think I might just go to the thrift store and see if I can pick up a few pairs of warm pants to wear on my vacation. So that's something to look forward, for me to look forward to. I really appreciate you watching my video, and will try to be more consistent, as I've said in the past. I really appreciate your comments and your support, and I hope you will give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I do like sharing with you and the sewing community. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Go Sew Beautiful. Bye-bye.